case anyone is wondering which one we use. Okay, we're going to be reading Psalm. And I usually get the Reddit reading guides, the study guides for the Redheaded Hostess, so that we can kind of follow along there. We also follow along. We also read from the Bible directly, obviously, and it is something that I have wanted to do. It helps me when I read out loud, helps me think about different things that the scriptures are saying. So it just makes it a whole lot better experience for me. And I feel like it is worth it for me to do that. Now, I am going to I'm going to show you a little bit of how I share some compassion with myself, where I did not read all of Job out loud, even though I really wanted to. And so I'm listening to Job, and I never got to read it out loud. So many different reasons, but school is officially started today. And then our sweet little kindergartner starts in a week. And so we're so excited for her to have this new adventure. Um, More time consuming for us to do different things that we want with our children before they go to school. And then, therefore, my scripture schedule gets changed a lot. And then I end up listening to more than reading more out loud. And so, yes, I can listen to Satan's voice, and he's telling me that I'm not enough, that I didn't do enough, that I didn't. Uh, I didn't read it the way I originally planned, and I'm not keeping promises to myself, and how can I even possibly keep going? But I'm going to ignore all that, and I'm just going to say, hey, you know what? That is sometimes the seasons of life go like this, they ebb and flow, and so you have to adjust. And if I'm going to always be overwhelmed or taken aback by Satan's lies and manipulation, then I'm just going to stay stuck and I won't do anything. So we're going to do something. So we're reading Psalms, and I love Psalms. So I want to make sure that we read Psalms. So here we go. The book of Psalms. It's funny because it's Psalms when you say that you're talking about multiple, but it's Psalm when you're just talking about the one, like one chapter in the book. Okay, so said, blessed are the righteous, the ungodly will perish. So that is the very first. Go this way, and we don't read all of them in the Come Follow Me reading. We're not going to be reading all of them. I want to be able to. I want to make sure that we are necessary things. Okay, we're still in Job. Why is that still coming up? Okay, here we go. And this is like the cute picture that Reddited Hostess is showing us. Isn't that darling? It's just darling. Okay, so the Lord is my shepherd. That is like when I was in Baptist private school in elementary back in Florida. That was the number one psalm that they would teach us is the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leadeth me into green pastures. I don't remember all the words. But it's going to be awesome to be able to read them again. So that'll be cool. Okay. So the author of the Psalms is, uh, let's talk about that. So it's there. It says the book of Psalms contains songs and prayers written by different people over many years. Some Psalms name their authors while others do not. King David is credited with writing many of them. Something good to know, the Psalms are not just theology, they are testimonies of real people in real pain, joy, awe, and need. As you study, pause to pray the Psalms aloud. See, this is another thing that's awesome. Imagine the setting and notice the emotional tone. And because the Psalms were often accompanied by music, the word Selah appears 71 times throughout. Actually, I think it was like 73 or 74 times. And most scholars will, because also appears in other places in the Bible, but most scholars believe it was a musical notation signaling a pause or break in the music, similar to the end of a verse or a moment for reflection. Mm, really awesome. Okay, so Psalm 1, we're going to talk about two paths. So we're going to get into that. Here we go. So blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Ooh, I love that. In the Lord's law, we meditate day and night. Oh, doesn't that sound cozy? I need to put this on. It's cold. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Okay, so I really love this beginning. It says, let's read it again. But his delight in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Something that's interesting about day and night is that we have, because of school starting, we have 3 kids that are going to be in 3 different schools. So we get to we're wanting to combine some scripture study, and we wanted to do it all at one time. But our team did not appreciate that. And so we are going to do 3 different scripture study times. And I don't know if anybody has done this in the past. It feels ridiculous. Feels like doing the most. And we're going to do it because we're the parents and we want them to have scriptures. And the other option was to do it at night. But then I'm like, well, when do you do the, come follow me reading? When do you do come follow me reading? Because in the morning we read the Book of Mormon, because we've been promised that if we read the Book of Mormon, that our families will not be lost. So we want to make sure we keep reading the Book of Mormon so we can keep those blessings. We also need that armor in the morning because they're going off to Satan's battlefield, which is school, and it's crazy. And so they need that strength. So anyway, so the whole day and night thing. So day is when we're going to be reading our scriptures in the Book of Mormon, and night is when we're going to be reading our Bible. And it does feel like a lot. We're going to do the Book of Mormon 3 times in the day. and then I'm still going to read the Bible because our family's not going to read it at the pace that we are all supposed to be reading it at, because it's massive. Like, so much reading has to take place. So we end up just doing like a chapter for dinner or something like that, or a few verses, and just to kind of get something in that. And then, so it's like scriptures in the morning, scriptures in the afternoon, scriptures in the evening. Like, it's just, we're just here to read the scriptures. So, but anyway, that's what we're here for, right? This is, what is it called? There's another scripture that says, this life is a life to prepare to meet God. And like, how else are we going to prepare to meet him if we don't read the scriptures, if we don't even read his word? Okay, President Dieter F. Uchtdorf says this. He says that the NIV First Century Study Bible contains this explanation: the image of, oh boy, I'm telling you, that walking really keeps me awake. The image of a path or way in the Hebrew Bible often stood for keeping the commandments or teachings of God. This was a common ancient metaphor for active participation in a set of beliefs, teachings, or practices. The Dead Sea Scrolls community called themselves followers of the way, by which they meant they were followers of their own interpretation of the path that pleased God. President Dieter F. Uchtdorf, Daily Restoration, October 2021 General Conference. Notice that President Uchtdorf explained that the way is a metaphor for active participation in a set of beliefs, teachings, or practices. So a way can be God's path or another path. In verse 1, this psalmist expressed the happiness that comes to those who choose not to actively participate in the ways of ungodly. the ungodly. It is a choice. They will not walk in it. Instead, the righteous desire to delight in the law of the Lord. They want to know it. They want that way. So they meditate on the law, on that law day and night, which is how they can be sure to be on and stay on that path. Yes, because that is the path I want to be on. I want to be on the Lord's path. Okay. And then that is it for Psalm chapter 1. So until Psalm chapter 2, stay strong, warrior. Also, I think I did not title this one correctly.